Okay, another sign of the end of the world that God showed me, something demons did, right, when they were harassing me, but that will then start to become widespread. And that's why I saw it. You get me? It's like God is teaching me stuff through the persecution. In 2018, because of the extreme constant workplace bullying, I always went through sabotage, harassment, right, mopping. There's so many things that they did. It wasn't just harassment. Um, they also then would harass me, right, since they've been following me all my life, all the way back to before I was even born. Then they basically already ruined everything. It's like you attack the roots, right? And then the pillars after is like you have control over it now. So I was delayed in getting my license. I was delayed in many things, basically. I mean, yeah, forget it. I don't need to explain it. Right? So then, yeah, I got my license, but then they started to harass me with driving. So one time I shared before a story on this podcast where demons possessed, because I was still learning, they possessed these people, these two crazy males to come in this huge truck. Not truck, goodness. The sort of car trucks, not necessarily like a truck, okay? Forgot what their name was. Right? Like the typical GMZ type of trucks. They basically honked at me from the back when I was, right, trying to protect myself. Because you get me, that's when I was starting to realize I'm being followed. You get me? So that sort of stress where you're like, oh, what should I do? You get me? Like that. And then they honked at me, but it was a witchcraft. You get me? Guys, don't ever forget, anytime I tell you a human is possessed to do something bad around me, don't forget there's some spiritual stuff attached to it. Like a witchcraft, a spell, something. Only God knows what powers they're using. But the main one is witchcraft. The way I know is when I try to break it, right? Like I break that witchcraft, like that. We say words like that in religion, right? It doesn't work unless I say witchcraft. So that's how God taught me then. They really use witchcraft a lot. It's just people think witchcraft is a small category of bad things that you can do to people, but it's actually diverse. It can do many things. It can cause death. It can cause disease. It can cause you to get physically ugly. It can change your skin tone. It can change your hair. It can do many things to your body appearance, your health. It can make you age fast, like that. It just attacks you in a way where either things happen in your life and those consequences occur, right? You can lose your finances, your relationships, every area of life. Have pregnancy problems, like that. It doesn't matter. Have sexual problems. They're cursing you. You know what I mean? Okay, so bad things happen either from accumulation of physical things happening in this life that they are sabotaging your life, right? Bad things happen. Or it's just, that's the way God created it. It just attacks you, usually in dreams. That's what people talk about nightmares a lot, right? Nightmares are not from God. It's not something He created to just show us, right? Maybe a bad day we had. No, it's always from demons. Our dreams are supposed to be from God. Just so you know, God actually does send us dreams. So if you were to be like without demons, how would our dream life be? We would have dreams, so we wouldn't sleep without dreams. It just wouldn't be all the time, probably. Only God knows that. But we would have dreams from God. You get me? The ones that He is actually sending it to us. It's just the demonic attack is allowed, keyword allowed, right? Because it's not attacking God. It's not an opponent to Him. It's just He's allowing it to attack us, just like any other evil He created. He allows it to attack us, right? Not from a place of Him being evil, but He just created evil, right? So, and there you go. That's a way to get you to pray to Him. That's a way to get you to come back to Him. Many people who don't believe in religion, this is their way. Maybe when they go to psychiatrists or other, people like psychologists or any other person who helps you with that, when they're like, goodness, these people cannot help me, then you see, they might be pushed now to seek religious sort of guidance, or then God might even intentionally make sure they don't maybe teach you the sort of religious meaning or pray or anything like that, so that then maybe you just are pushed to just talk to Him. You get me? Because maybe He actually wants that, maybe, so He can confirm to you He's out there. Because some people He doesn't, he may not necessarily do that, right? Some people God actually wants to show them He's out there because maybe, right? Maybe that's the problem there. They don't even believe in a God being out there. So you get me? God sometimes is the one making sure you don't succeed with ABC, so that then you have no choice but to try a different route. And that's the route He wants for you, like that. And same thing, demons on a, right, since good is the opposite of evil, the evil God created, demons can then push you away from ABC that's good for you, so then they push you to something else. You get me? So yes, we have to always pray to God for guidance and discernment. Okay, so I'm going to hurry up. Right? They honked at me and it was witchcraft then, so it attacks your mind. I just drove towards oncoming traffic. Exactly. It was not humans that moment. It was two demons possessing that vehicle and those two males, and the way they honked was so demonic. Just visualize really demonic people attacking me. Would you then say is the same as you being mean and honking at someone necessarily when maybe you just have bad thoughts, which is you being demon that moment too, but it's not the same level, right? Because you're more conscious. So right, because it was a demonic attack, it was different. I just drove towards oncoming traffic because of that. It wasn't me, right? It was like something attacked me that would cause that behavior. And God protected me. He just made sure there was no one driving towards me that moment. He's a God, right? He knows what to do. And it was just this one male driving towards me, very young person like me. So they're probably going to be more casual than someone older freaks out. They were like, oh, okay. It's like they didn't act like it mattered. They didn't act scared at all because God was controlling the situation. He just blinds them. They just act like it's normal. You get me? He just sort of paused the car and he looked back. It's like he was trying to help me, like warning the other cars. But, God sort of made them drive super slow. I don't know. He distracted them, even though they were still driving towards me. He didn't make them really wiped out. Okay, and then I did that swerve where I make a huge turn and I go straight forward in a way that you would think I've been driving for 30 years. So it's just one of those gifts I have. If you teach me something like a skill, I'm going to learn it faster than anybody. But then they do witchcraft to me to sort of saying they attack me to harass me. Okay, and that's another thing you'll understand where maybe you were good at a certain subject in the past or you had good memory or certain things and now is weaker. That's because they probably did something spiritual to you like witchcraft or curse and that's causing that sort of weakness in your ability to learn or remember things, including they use witchcraft to send you intrusive thoughts, intrusive images, flashbacks, dreams. All that is from demons so that then they can actually erase your brain, its memory of all the good things you've experienced. I've obviously seen a lot of good things in this life and a lot of good people, but I don't remember them. It's just replaced with these demonic humans, all the things they do. So I have intrusive all the time. I just call it intrusives because it's not just thoughts. It's every type of intrusive you can think of, like evil thoughts, images, like all this stuff mixing, and they mix. So they become creepy at some point. Okay. So, right, because of things like that, and then because I became homeless back then, they just harassed my job. It was just so stressful. I didn't understand, right? This was going to be a long-term thing. I thought it was just one bad job. I just stopped driving, but also because of that safety issue. So they really do attack my mind a lot, including even now. I get these really weird demonic attack dreams. So I actually saw an article the same time. This is how you know God is guiding me to something, certain topics to talk about. I saw these articles that said things like there's always non-Muslims attacking, right? These concepts of the Prophet Muhammad. They say, right, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, they say, if he was a prophet, then how could demons do witchcraft to him? What? You believe Jesus was a powerful person, way bigger and better than a prophet, right? You believe he's a son of God. Imagine being God yourself, but you believe he was killed? You don't think the fact that he was killed makes him weak? So why is having witchcraft done to you not mean that you can also be powerful, right? Why would it impair your ability to be a supernatural prophet, right? Just because God allows a demon to do witchcraft to you. You get me? So I'm in the same program as them. I get to experience what they experience. So I know what that means then when Muslims say, oh, the prophet had witchcraft done to him. It was just things like this. It's something small. It doesn't mean anything big. But then two, later in their life, just like later in my life, just like maybe after this year, it's going to be over. God is going to stop it. Obviously, these demons are not going to be allowed, right? Hold on, someone's passing. They're not going to be allowed to persecute or follow me anymore. So for that reason, you get me? It was the same for him. He was put in those situations so he can guide people like I'm guiding you guys. Because I actually know what it does to you, what witchcraft does. So does God have to do that? No. He can just give you knowledge. He can just create you with it. But he prefers this way for some people, right? That he wants to use to guide you. He puts them in the situation so that they actually know what it feels like to go through that demonic attack themselves. And okay, that is why then, even though they're supernatural and powerful, right? Like a prophet, then they're also going to go through attacks that you would say a demon should not have the power to do to them. It's just during the time that their life, no one knows who they are, or the time that, right, they're under attack because they're learning something. It's just the persecution. You all believe they were persecuted anyway. So it's just the same persecution, right, for that prophet Jesus. But it's like that. They have to learn something, and many other reasons that God can think of. But the first reason, if you ask me, since learning is not rational, God can just give them the wisdom supernaturally. The first reason is because they're supernatural. It's because they're stronger than demons. It's because they're stronger than humans. They're not, right? Okay, so for that reason, it's a test for them. It's a trial. That demons who are weaker than them have power to attack them using humans and animals and pests they're possessing. That obviously pisses you off. So I'm sure they dealt with a lot of anger. So I'm going to wait. There's a human here. Sometimes these demons possess people who are walking by to just stop. It's like they're listening to what I'm saying. They're blind for me, so don't worry. But I know what they're doing, you know? They're trying to make me uncomfortable. But sometimes God might allow the human to hear certain words. You get me? They're not going to have the ability to understand me, the whole episode I'm recording. They're not going to understand anything, but just a few words, you know? Like what I just said about the test and the trial part. They just stop, and they're made to stop and be possessed that moment and just stand parallel to me, because maybe God wants them to hear that. You get me? They're just not going to link it to anybody. They're not going to be like, who was that? They sounded like they were saying something. They're not going to have that sort of consciousness because they're blind. Okay. What was I talking about? So yeah, it's a trial for them. God has always put prophets in situations, right? Even though, yes, as those non-Muslims are saying, right? If they're powerful, they shouldn't go through this. Yeah, but that's actually a test for them. So that's just sadly what they go through. And these human beings, we would tell them, Adam, right? And Eve, not just Adam, but even Eve was supernatural. Correct? Because they, okay, common sense, everybody. They did things that are not human capability. So obviously there have been many females who are supernatural. So that is obviously impossible to say only males were supernatural humans. No, females who are supernatural existed, like the mother of Jesus. It's just that the fact that some of them were prophets and messengers is the only part of history that's erased. And I guarantee you, when the truth comes very soon, whether Jesus comes down or someone else or religion or whatever it is, right, comes down, religion comes down as a scripture, which obviously would mean that it's going to have someone with it. Okay, you're going to know what God's perspective is on past humans if he chose women to be prophets and messengers. Obviously, they have been chosen to be leaders, but prophet and messenger is different, right? And then two, who knows? Maybe Mary was a prophet or messenger herself. But then the stories only talk about the time that she was just a parent, just like prophets themselves were parents to other prophets. So she could have been a prophet female who was a mother to a prophet male, Jesus. Do you get me? That could have been her son, who's also a prophet, and she could have been a prophet, had a great life leading people. But are you going to know that? No, right? Because they just take the part of his birth only, and they just mention like that. So if you can obviously erase stories, you can always take out this stuff of how she could be so supernatural and have Jesus without ever having, right, any sexual relation with a healthy male for her, right? Exactly. So she's supernatural, obviously. But you don't know if then she was also prophet or messenger prior. And the devil, since he's sexist, since the whole concept of when he corrupts religion, he always puts sexism and perversion first. He doesn't pick something else. Of course, then he's always going to go after the identity of women in God's eyes. So that's why you don't know if women were prophets or messengers in human history. But obviously supernatural women have existed in human history. You get me? But he doesn't like the prophetic part. Because exactly, leader. The whole sexism in all religions says women cannot be the leader. The man is the head of the household. That's nonsense. There's no such thing as head of anything. You're not a head of nobody. Goodbye. This is a sexual relationship. There's no leadership in a sexual situation. You're just raising kids together, right? There's no leader. And I already told you, then you can't be like, okay, you're teaching us a wisdom and a morality at a pure level. We'll take your version over this nonsense. But aren't they leaders for the kids? Hell no, they're not a leader for the kid either. They're just caretakers. You're just taking care of each other. That's it. Just as you take care of an elderly person, are you their leader? Okay, it's the same for a child. You're nobody's leader. Okay? in situations where there's a relationship. We cannot have leadership in a relationship because it's relationship means from a place of love. That means it's equal already. There's a situation where no one can lead anybody. The situation is just about friendship and love and companionship. There's no leading here. Leader applies to someone in a society who leads human beings either in sort of like political ways, maybe you're a teacher, or like someone supernatural like prophets and messengers. Okay, but that doesn't mean then they are somehow leading you, the humans. No, they're just leading you in a concept. So for example, they're just leading you with what they're teaching you. They're just sort of guiding you in something in life. Maybe this person got taught them a great discovery in something scientific like that. Then they're just the leader for that scientific stuff. They're not a leader for you in the sense that they lead you. They're not superior. They're not above you. They're just a leader for the knowledge God taught them. So since leadership means teaching people something and you're only a leader for the stuff you're teaching them, you're not a leader for them. You get me? You're not above them or anything. You're not leading them because they're not dumb. They're a species. They're equal to you. Guess what that means? That's another reason why a male is not the head of the household. Because how is he leading a woman? She's equal to him. What are you teaching her? Didn't I just say it's about teaching? What the hell are you teaching here? She's a grown adult, correct? I think that nonsense actually came out because demons have corrupted God's morality to tell you to go after little girls and rape them and call that marriage. So maybe they got that from that nonsense. And always telling you to go to females way too young than you, which is more than 5 years age difference. So then maybe they got that nonsense from that because they're actually kids. And then they already have the concept they've already built in the mind that you can lead kids. Like I just said, you can't. And so now they can connect it to this. Goodbye. Okay, I need to hurry up. So basically, the demons did this thing, right? Oh, yeah. So they sabotaged everything and I stopped driving, right? I just took a break from it. Even though you don't know how much I love driving, it's really fun to me. Even when I was young, I used to play, even when I was young, I mean, sorry. I used to play, right? Let me wait. People are passing. They keep making people pass by me at the most important time because they're just in their car. They just park there and they come out the wrong time. Okay, if I see them who are very decent, right, they're going to be confused a little bit. God blinds them, you get me? They're not going to hear what I'm saying. They're just confused. I wait. But the ones who are really demonic, like their humor is gone. I don't care. I just keep recording. They just eat and stuff. They just don't listen. They don't do anything. I told you, I'm in weird supernatural situations. It's not going to make sense, everyone. They're normal around you, but not me. They're just dead or something around me. So you get me? So it's only the demons who are hearing what I'm saying. Who cares what they... And they're blind for me, too. They don't know everything about what I'm doing. So anyways, right? Due to all that sabotage, even though, right, I used to, when I was younger, I used to love playing those race cars video games, you know. Oh, I forgot what it was called. I think it's called Jack. It's so cute. I learned that in Africa when I was in Kenya, you know. Anyways, so it's really difficult for me that I didn't get to enjoy driving. You know what I mean? Now I'm like bored with it. Now it's not something I could enjoy, especially since our world is so chaotic anyway. God will help me. He'll find a way, you know, to compensate that loss, right? Because he compensates you. If demons take anything from you, that's why we have to pray a lot, so we get what they stole from us. Okay, sorry, let me get to the point. Basically, right, because of all that sabotage, I always used to take buses, even though I hate buses. And any young person would tell you that's the worst thing. And driving is a blessing for all of us because the creeps take the buses, right? So for that reason, again, normal people take it too. I just mean like they take it in an intentional way where they stay and harass you and just hang around and loiter. And they don't have any purpose. And they're usually trying to target people that way. And they're just there simply, even if they're not targeting anybody, right? It's just uncomfortable. So you get me? They sabotage everything in my life. What you think persecution means. So for that reason, then I got harassed heavily in the buses because it was still peaceful. And then I gave it up because get it? They just want to push me out of everything. And they also want me to lose money to things that it's not necessary. So they pushed me to Lyft and Uber. You know what I mean? Uber was creepy. So I just took Lyft. They were usually very nice, normal people who were driving for just their living. So, and then there you go. They will constantly match me with the creepiest males you can ever imagine. I don't care who you are, but if you saw just their picture, you know who they are. right? I swear to God, you guys, you human beings would know. You see it's not even that hard. You don't have to be spiritual like me. You just know. 2 hours, everyone. I'm not joking. For like 2 hours, I'm canceling the trip on every driver they match me with. They intentionally would also make sure I don't get matched with the females either. Then they started to match me with the creepy females when they realized they should just use everybody against me. My goodness, I lost a lot of money to that, right? I didn't get to save and do things. By then, I could have probably built a house for myself because it's not that expensive. There's like homes for $5,000. There's ones you can just build, and I'm sure it could come to around $5,000 or something. People are doing that all over the country. It's like that. It's like you can't focus on your possibilities because you're always being harassed like this. Okay, so in 2018, because therefore I was taking Lyft, there was this driver, and again, he doesn't necessarily look like a horrible person, so you have to be careful. They just look okay. Good people really look good people, just so you know, so don't be scared that they don't look obvious. It's just the sort of humans you and I would say are average. We don't know what their character is. We wouldn't really trust them like that. They picked ones like that. And he did this thing where his demon possessed him to just keep driving. And I'm like, you're supposed to go that way. And he just went in a different direction, and he was driving fast. Versus, oh, I'm sorry. Okay, I'll just take it. It wasn't slow like that because maybe that might make you more comfortable, right? So that was God showing me signs of the end of the world, the things that human beings will start to do in transportations that, right, are like taxi, or who knows, it could even one day become an airline thing. It could be, who knows, in the army, the people in the Marines, anything that you're using to transport human beings, right? The ships or anything. And then the ships for like resorts and vacation, anything humans are using, right? This object, this sort of moving object that moves, I'm not going to call them a vehicle, right? Transportation equipment. I'm sure in their own way, right? If God allows it, they could be used to do this, So just be careful of the other things that would fit into the examples I give you. Sorry if I'm having struggle speaking, it's because people are walking by me. Don't forget, there's always witchcraft done on me. And they have heavy perfumes also. It enters my mouth. That's disgusting, right? They also sensitize me to perfumes that I used to buy in the past. It's intentional. You'll never see some other perfume usually, because they're trying to show me they're stalking me. You get me? And then two, they stop doing that. Then they start using ones that I hate. How the hell do they know what I hate, right? That's how you know they're demons and they're following me. Because if you follow someone, you can study their habits, right? What they dislike and like. So the intention to make people walk by me with heavy, get it? Because if they just put it on themselves, why would I know? Heavy. It's like they spray it on you.
Getting harassed.
Sorry. Heavy perfume, so that then I sense it and I get irritated because I hate that smell. But then two, it has witchcraft on it. Oh, God, have mercy. Right? See, there's always the gap of what I'm trying to tell you. An essential point in my story, someone walks by me. That's how you know I'm being followed. It's not hard to prove when they're going to walk by. Almost the peak of the story, right? When I'm getting to a really interesting part of the story, someone will walk by me. And it's going to affect my ability to keep talking to you because I have to tell you what they did because it affects me so much. Okay. Right? So anything you could say, transportation, right? Just know that anytime I tell you, signs of the end of the world, demons will start possessing a lot of bad people to start using this type of tactic in society to do bad behavior or crime. Just know that then anything you would say similar is possible too. I'm not going to see everything, right? I mean, I was sabotaged when I took Amtrak, which is a train. I was sabotaged, not airline though, that was good. What did I deal with on the airline? I dealt with the sabotage of them not wanting to give me the same drinks. You get me? Like, they have all these drinks, right? Like pop and stuff. And they just keep acting deaf when I tell them what I want. Huh? Well, I can't hear you. Everybody else, even farther away from me. Oh, sure, ma'am. Oh, sure, sir. So sabotage, right? That sort of discrimination. It might happen to all of you now. I already talked about that in the other episodes, though, of Signs at the End of the World. That sort of sabotage to anything consumerism, anything we consume, like a service. Employees and customers are going to sabotage each other and sabotage you at the same time. Right? Because it's just an attack on wealth. You get me? Demons just want to cause global poverty. So they have to ruin everything you and I would say is consumerism. Just wealth and food and things we enjoy, beautiful hotels, and people will start taking their tables out of places like Barnes and Nobles, and now you can't sit and have your nice laptop and write. And you get me? You can't have the benefits of these businesses anymore. Anyways, they just want all of you to be homeless, like me in the past. They want you to suffer kind of the way I did, but it's not going to be the same, right? Because this is persecution. It's just some of it, not all the things I go through. Some is going to happen to you guys. So that's why then I get to tell you, you know? That's why I went through it. Because if God ever asked me to help his creation in the areas of, you would say, like humanitarian, right? Like help you with money and poverty and things like that. I understand, right? Because every industry I've been harassed, you know? Every sort of environment of a business I've been harassed versus some. Even a place where you don't buy anything, they just harass me. They harass me in the street. They harass me when driving. They harass me in taking buses, you know, taxi, airlines, everywhere. If you harass me everywhere, I think I'm going to understand how to stop those types of behaviors, right? With smart tactics. Instead of the way governments are doing, which is not from the rational side, it's from a demonic side. Just bringing more cops to the environment. What the hell? I thought people were scared of them last time I checked, of always violating your rights. It's just more control, but not the control that people are saying online. You know how in YouTube they would say things like, "Oh, control." They try that's more like the paranoia, unhealthy control. With control, I mean more like demonic control. You know, those humans don't really know they're being used always. Why, when someone tells them to go be a patrol officer in your city or in this hotel you work at, they don't always know. You get me? To them, it's just their job, and that place has crime, and they're there to help. That's it. So don't treat them like they're some sort of right orchestrated a group or anything. It's demons who are the orchestrators. It's them who are with the agenda. Okay, so right, this human, right, the Lyft driver, he drove extremely fast, like he's trying to get somewhere. Otherwise, the light is gonna go red or something. Like you just have to hurry up, you know. With that sort of light being maybe a few miles away, you know, just fast. Where are you going? And I'm very calm, obviously. I don't get affected by this stuff because I was used to harassment. I just didn't know they were demons back then. God did something to my mind where I don't question it. I don't question the repetitiveness. I don't question the fact that it's why it's not normal. I don't question it. I just simply treated them as a character that always repeats and seems to always know me and bother me. But I never said to God, how is that humanly possible? I didn't question. He just sort of blinded me too. So then I developed a really strong persona. It wasn't like my personality, but it's like a persona only around them where I'm just really calm. I don't react. I don't say anything. I'm just so calm. I don't ever treat the human like their behavior, right? I don't, you get me? Just because they acted evil in this case, I still am normal with them. Like just a normal employee. Excuse me, where are you going? You know what? My tone never changes. My demeanor never changes. So they struggled, these demons, to just get the emotional satisfaction they wanted, you know? But they definitely ruined my life in the economical area that they're doing to everybody now, right? Just stealing everything from me because they didn't require that I react or do anything. They just lied about me, just accusation. Of course, then you can steal, right? But if you needed me to feel a certain way, act a certain way, okay, I could have easily had a great life all this time. But yeah. Anyways, then he's like, "Oh, I'm sorry. I thought blah blah blah," and he then said he's gonna change the route and go another way. And then okay, I'm waiting, right? It doesn't seem like he's changing his route. It doesn't seem like he's gonna stop. It seemed like he was right intentionally trying to go somewhere else. So that sort of anxiety entered me. Like, what the hell is he doing? And he was driving in areas that seemed like there were too many trees. You get me? He sort of exited the city areas, and this was a really nice downtown like place I was in. Not too perfect, but right. I was coming from work like that, and that's one time God showed me because he just wanted to show me that quality. So that might happen to you guys. These sort of human beings who you would say could cause you danger, right? Because they're actually in charge of moving that transportation equipment to take you from point A to point B. You would agree is very dangerous. Then if they have criminal intent, just be careful with them. Not just the typical way you already know these humans can commit crime. No, not those ones. Not like heinous things, because that depends on who you are. I mean, that's just them driving somewhere else. It might not even be a bad place. It could just be another city. It could just be a weird location. They might even just try to steal your money that way and be like, "Oh, we have to go back." And they might do something to the app, and then now you have to pay them again or something like that. They might say, "Get out of the car. I can't help you." Like that. It might be about that. Just leaving you in the wrong place, making you pay money, or maybe putting you at an environment that you would say it's not safe. You get me? Like that. It doesn't mean they have to try to do some crime. You know, it could just be about, you get me? This one symbolized taking you to a wrong location. It didn't symbolize any other crime. Because you guys already know that. So what else? I saw this one also. It was nighttime. It was also snow. So also think of situations and times that you would say is dangerous for a Lyft driver or a taxi driver or any sort of moving equipment to say you have to get off. So in that Amtrak, obviously it was cold. When they just kicked me off the train. Very easy. It's always the same thing. This creepy male approached me who was an employee. He just tried to get personal for no reason. He has no business with me. He just wants to talk. Again, he's a demon. It's not directed at me. I'm just learning something. And I'm like, excuse me, what's your point? That's all I said. It wasn't the exact statement, but that was the point. I was just basically saying, what's your point? Like, why are you here? You know what I mean? There you go. So because they're evil, right? We're going to all start to deal with accusations from now on, because these types of humans are coming up who want to do evil when you stop them, or you don't even notice it. They just accuse you. He just literally just left. He didn't say anything because they don't want me to know they're going to accuse me. Just like my jobs. They just want to cause me this trauma of always being accused. Just imagine being scared all the time. Wherever you go, random strangers just accuse you, especially after they harass you. Because that's even more worse, right? Because you were already harassed. Then they go, and I knew it. I knew they were lying about me. So I went exactly in the direction they were going, which was to the captain. And I'm looking for him, and he's already like some little kid, and popping his head, and that's how they're so childish. These types of human beings have a lot of childish behaviors and not just evil behaviors, right? The human beings you're going to start to see harassing you in society because they're narcissistic. They're extremely possessed. Okay, I see him lying to his coworkers, and this one pretended to be like the captain and the important person. I knew it wasn't him, but I didn't want to, keep talking to them. I know they argue. But literally, as I was just talking to them, they do the same thing. They say something sexist. They say something evil. They try to act dominant over you, like they try to stop you from talking or something. That sort of fake dominance. And I'm not obviously going to let that. I would always discipline these demons. I would always say, don't talk to me like that. And then I want to continue and keep explaining my situation. You get me? It's not me yelling and losing my chance to still get my service. I'm always going to get my service. Hell no. Are you going to ruin my... But what can I do? Then they lie, right? Normally, right, humans would just leave you alone if you're that assertive. But this is different. It's a huge demonic attack. So they're just going to use the human to not gaslight and be like, you know what? Get off our ship. Get off for whatever, And they didn't refund me my money, just so you know. It was like 1,300 something. And it's annoying because I was trying to skip the airline because I knew they were going to harass me in the airline. I'm so pissed off. And this got sabotaged. Everywhere I went, it's just lying and accusation and then sabotage as the result. So that then you just keep running and running somewhere else. That's really what persecution means, right? We're just chasing you everywhere you go. Because how do they find someone to harass me everywhere I go? Only God knows. Obviously, it was after COVID. It was much easier to find these weird humans because weird humans popped up after COVID. You would agree. The decent ones are hiding, right? But before that, they just found them every now and then. So that's why I had a much easy-paced life. And after COVID, my life is weird. You get me? Because they just have these humans at a higher number. And they're the ones who are doing these type of service jobs. They're everywhere then. So all I dealt with was just perverted behavior. This male tried to open this sort of just YouTube Amtrak, what their rooms look like. They're called rooms, but it's not a room. It's just like a seat, but it's just closed and stuff. So there's people right next to you. You get me? It's just like a bus or something. Okay, I didn't get the ones that are bigger. It was like the medium ones. I don't remember their name. I don't think it was the room ones. Sort of like the middle one. You know how you just sit, just a typical seat, and then the one next to that where you get a little privacy, and then the full third level version will be like actual sort of similar to a room. It wasn't that one. It was like the middle one. I just don't remember what it was called. Okay, I booked that one, because I don't want to sleep or anything, but I wanted some privacy. And literally they keep doing the same thing. This creepy, weird, mentally ill male. This one was mentally ill. The others were not. He just opened that sort of area. It's like this sort of window-like thing. Get me? And I'm just like, what the hell? Where did you come from? I didn't even know it could be opened in that sense. And you don't have to be paranoid for me or anything in that sense of human decency, because I just would have been sitting. I just needed privacy. I'm not dumb. I'm not sleeping in those places. I know how to take care of the situation. Don't worry. You get me? So I'm telling you to do the same, right? If you ever have travel in these ways, well, then sleep sitting. You know what? I don't ever have to necessarily lay down. Also, one thing God taught me is when we lay down with the body down, we get into deep sleep. Obviously, that's not good. So God has taught me a lot during the times that He made me homeless, right? To really learn. It is. It is a big one. Sorry. Right, He has taught me. Oh, huge mental attack again. I'm almost forgetting what I was telling you. Like 5 of them passed me by in heavy perfume. Imagine how much witchcraft that was then. Just double it. And they like to walk really slow by me. They don't want to pass like a normal person because they need to wait as a demon possessing a person. So then the evil stuff that's spiritual can hit you because they need to obviously direct it at your body. So usually when they walk slow around me, they're putting witchcraft on me. They're moving fast. Maybe they're trying to actually assault you and stuff. It helps me to sort of tell you guys what they do, just so you know that I keep doing that. Otherwise, you might get angry. So right, God taught me, right, in those times of homelessness, which, get it? That's why God makes me homeless. That's why He made me suffer these things, because that's what's happening globally. Do you agree? Global poverty, right? Including areas where I had injustice, right, done to me, where people are lying, accusing, harassing, stealing from me, like that. Not real theft. He doesn't give them permission to really steal from me, just so you know. There's limitations. They can't do everything, obviously. That's weird. Just theft as in, like, you steal my job, So for that reason, that's because those are the things He wants me to help you with. So it's like I have to go through it to understand it. And also understand the perpetrators, since they're invisible, how they use different types of human beings, even the ones who don't even know. They don't have that kind of bad intention towards you, but they make you think they're just like everybody else. Because, right, they're just in the environment, right? I just prayed for this family that seems very decent, right? They would never harass you. Because lately I've been praying for God to, right, bring decent people around me. I'll teach you guys. I learned 5 ways of praying that's not in scripture. That's really powerful, especially when God doesn't deliver you, right? Demons don't lose their power over you. He taught me ways to then still get what you want. You get me? Until you wait for the sort of perfect help. Because imagine just praying for demons to leave your life. He gives them some power to stay a little longer in your life as a God. So then you're going to obviously get very angry and that's not fair. That's horrible, right? So He's teaching you, right, as He is helping you, what you can do. Again, I'm put in extreme situations where God does not want to help me with the official way to help me, because He's trying to teach me other ways to get what we want, right? But in your life as human beings, only God knows what you go through. But since He's not unjust, right? He just created evil, and obviously evil is not fair, right? That is here. Of course, He just helps you other ways is what I mean. When I said that it's not fair, right? God knows it's not fair that these demons don't leave the first time we pray against them, right? So usually he helps you find ways as a human being. Everyone's different. But He just lets you deal with the situation until one day you get the help. God, I'm getting distracted again. So, right? What was I talking about? They just opened this little window thing, And then, so yeah, I go through these things related to poverty and related to sabotage and accusations and stuff like that, because that's what you human beings will go through, right? The economy will collapse. So then I know how to help you build that up, basically. I don't know how God's going to do that, though. I just know that's what He wants me to help you with. Okay, anyways. I'm sorry. There's too much witchcraft and noise around me. For that reason, this human being, this passenger, they opened it. They're like, oh, I'm sorry. They made it seem as if they don't know or they don't mean it, which is then what you guys will start to see. This constant perverted behavior. of human beings trying to, right, come to private places. And there you go. I'm just telling you any other place you can think of, because I'm seeing it on transportation places, right? But exactly, use your mind and think of other ways and other places they could try to then come near like that. You just do that. You just keep going. I'm not going to see everything, and everything's not possible, right? Okay, what could we also conclude they could try to then use them to do? Exactly, come near your bathrooms, come near your hotel rooms, maybe who knows when you're being intimate with your spouse or like that. It's just too much perversion that's coming up, too much perversion. And to be honest with you, I think that's just demons' way of trying to show you human beings that this stuff, right, in religion that's sexist and perverted is from them. I think that's just like their way of exposing themselves to you. You might be like, why would they do that technically in that sense? Why would they make it so extreme? Right? It's everywhere versus those who just want to practice that filth. And civilized places can be okay. Right? They're making civilized places crazy too, right? That's because the truth is coming. So you're going to know from, right, your future leaders and scriptures that this stuff is not from God, right? So then it's like they're thinking, let's turn ourselves in. Let's just expose ourselves. That's what they're thinking. So they're just taking advantage of what crimes they could do because they know they could. I'm sorry, not they could. Because they know they're going to be stopped. You get me? If a criminal knows people with gun are coming and they're going to, right, kill them because maybe they killed someone, right? Something that gives those people the right to kill them, right? Or maybe it's in this sort of time we live in where then a cop would do that, right? What would they do? Just sort of do more crime, right, before they're caught like that. It's like they're thinking just take more, like food or jewelry or what they're stealing, like that, if it's maybe theft. So like that, demons are thinking just do whatever you can, whatever is possible, like, because they know God's leaders are coming and they're going to wipe you out. And a lot of the way, obviously, they're going to do that because you might be thinking, they're not going to technically kill these people. What are they going to do to change the world? They're going to help them religiously. These people are going to repent and change. That's the whole point. Get it? These people are going to change and repent. And then the demons will be, okay, hold on. Sorry. They're going to help these people, right, have demons come out of their body. You get me? So that now demons are not in their body and they're good people overall. They've changed. They've repented. And that's then how justice will increase. You get me? Because they outnumber us, obviously. How is there going to be justice if evil humans don't want to change, right? It's because God creates that psychology that only religion can change them. You get me? Only when you bring, it's common sense. You could say that's because it's connected to God. Only God can change it. Yeah, but everything else is connected to God. Food is connected to Him. Health is connected to Him. Everything else in society comes from Him. He created it. You get me? But we wouldn't say that part solves morality, would we? Like that. So I'm saying, right, even though God created everything, this part of what He created, right, this name, this demographic of what He created, or this category of what He created, which is just religion, right, versus science, right? This is the one that changes the heart. This is the one that changes morality. So because that's the one that changes it, then you already know justice is coming and crime and immoralities in terms of the character and all other evil is going to stop. You get me? As long as religion is coming back, you know then evil is going to stop because it is the one that teaches the evil one to change. But if it just came to kill them, then you get me? You would just have a few people probably. And that's not the reason, obviously. It's not like God is saying He's so weak and dumb and He's so scared of half of the human race or more dying because they're bad. God doesn't need you. You know what I mean? Nor is He going to be affected by that. It's just He doesn't want that. He doesn't want to wipe them out. He wants to give them redemption. Okay, so since only religious supernatural leaders He chooses, right? Not your religious leaders at a mosque or church. Since they can do that, see? Because they have that religious affiliation with God at a supernatural level, right? He sent them. He guides them. He gives them wisdom directly from Himself because, right, angels are being sent down to give wisdom or some of the knowledge, right? Maybe He just uses some other supernatural way, right? He brings a scripture, which is also supernatural, right? It's a revelation, but it's in a book form, right? Versus a revelation like an angel just talks to you, right? Because God is wise. He wants you to have confirmation, right? Not just because scripture is needed, but also for the sake of confirmation, right? You actually have something to show people as evidence, so you don't just say, I had a conversation with an angel, you know? Let me get up, sorry. So yeah, right, basically, what did I say? What I did was, because that was a shock, right? I didn't even know that place, they could open it and stuff like that. Because it was like, I just sat there for a few minutes. You know, I didn't observe. I didn't do the thing that I normally would do when I, right, get adjusted into a seat or a place. You observe it before you sleep or do anything. Okay, but this is just like, I'm like, it's like the first few minutes that I enter, you know? You're not going to look around. You don't care. You're just on your phone and stuff and eating. Okay, guess what I did? I was so, just so you know, I'm a very aggressive person, but now I don't do that as much, right? Because now I'm using other ways to attack these demons. But back then, I expressed myself more like myself. And I opened that place. I went to it. And I called them exactly the names that they deserve. You pervert, you this, you that. But not from a place of yelling, more like from a place of discipline. You know, I told them, right, that they will never do that again, you know. And I took my phone and I recorded the situation because, duh, I'm used to being accused. And it was criminal versus just harassment. Like someone says something that we would say, we wouldn't necessarily call it criminal, right? But it's obviously evil. Right? So I obviously recorded it. And then I took it. I left. As always, what do you think they're saying? Oh, I didn't mean it. They always defend themselves. They never admit, you know, even if you sigh with your eyes versus someone told you. And I just left. I ran out of that place. How could I feel safe there? I went to the staff. Um, and here we go. They don't care. So this was like the Amtrak before the other one where the employee lied about me. Because that one, they kicked me out. I recorded the situation. I remember being so stressed back then. So I didn't know this was right. Something following me everywhere I go. It was just so stressful. How can you get me? Because I only technically saw them harass me at my jobs and buses and places that seem like bullies are always there, you know? I'm traveling now. I'm thinking I can have a new life or something. And they're there. How am I supposed to predict that? You know? So, again, God gave me many hints. Anytime I spoke to an employee, excuse me, where's this? Where's that? Where's this train? It was so confusing. You know, they didn't have a really good system like buses have usually. You can get lost easily. They would always move right towards my face and get really close to my personal space. So when COVID started, these demons, the extra power God gave them, increased. Right, the persecution got to a point where they're always just trying to touch you and get close to you. It was no longer about verbal harassment and the things they used to do before. It was just always about this perversion of coming near your body. So I can't actually ask employees a question. I can't be like, take money from somebody or exchange coins with them or anything. It started this year, 2019, when I left my job. But they didn't have that power. Just that year, prior to the July of it, and you get me, it's so weird that their power increased, you know. So that explains that sometimes how someone might say, well, they couldn't do this to harass a prophet at this time, but then how did they like that? God increases them in power, but he's going to take it away from them. They're never going to be given power to kill people. To kill the person or do evil no. And then they cannot harm the person because the person's strong. That's the first reason. But God is not going to do evil and give them the power to like kill the person. No. So it's a lie. These demons didn't kill any of your prophets. They just harassed them like me, okay? They just sabotaged them to death. They're scared of them, though. So, you see? Because you need some evidence. I'm putting the same program as them as a better way to show you they lied about them, rather than just me telling you and that being true. God also put me in the situation. And you guys can go back with me in this country. You know? Almost everywhere I was harassed, there was a camera. You gave me this a footage of me. And I reported almost all the bullying at all the workplaces, all the crimes, everything. There's a record of everything I've done. Again, it can always be sabotaged, but technically, right? If I'm not someone in history that you cannot recall and see what happened, you can just see, right, what I went through. You can investigate it with me one day, like that, as your evidence. So, anyways, the staff just didn't help me. It was like they were dead or something. What do you say? What do you say? And then you think they're gonna help you, and then they followed me to the place, right, to act like they're gonna fix it, and they just put this sort of temporary thing on it. They didn't really fix it. I told them to just give me another place to sit. I don't need this. Why would I feel safe there? And they just ignore me, and then instantly just one of them just runs towards me again. They all they do is, you're talking to them, right? They're parallel to you. Not parallel, sorry, they're in front of you. Just randomly they just move towards me. Boom. What they want is for me to hit that person so you go to jail. It's that simple. So that's why when God brings down justice, right, again through religion, it's going to be legal for you to beat the hell out of anyone who comes near your body. Okay? It's going to be fair. Just like in you and I, our conscience, we know God gave us that right because they're the ones doing evil. And it's high-level evil versus something like words. They're trying to come near your body, which is very harmful because the body is honor, right? That's perversion. These people, God will give you permission to hit them, and you're not going to go to jail or anything because that's your right. And then all the other areas of injustice, right? The ways that the jails, the prisons, the mental hospitals, every area there's evil and injustice and a group of humans acting like an authority over you. Don't ever call police authority. Just call them police. Law enforcement doesn't really mean much to me, right? It just means they enforce law, but I don't like that one either. Law enforcement, just this nonsense of just fake dominance is going to stop. So these employees had that fake dominance on them. They thinking we can do what we want. We work here. We can get in people's personal space. The coworkers who are evil in your job, your manager, they all act like they can just touch you. Everyone who's evil just acts like they can do the evil they do. But your defense is some sort of a crime, correct? So that's going to change, obviously. They're going to be the criminals in God's eyes that they are. In this world too, very soon, when God brings down justice. And you, the one who's defending yourself, you're not going to be punished. And you're not going to be treated badly because it's not punishment. It's an evil act on you. But you're not going to be punished by God. That's what I meant, sorry. And you're not going to be abused, which is what they do. What they do is not punishment, goodness. Right? God is not going to call you a bad person for hitting them in these situations where they're doing something physical, you get me, or something maybe else that would logically mean we should hit somebody. But two, we don't really have to. Just so you know, God will teach you ways to attack human beings who are evil without using any physical behavior. Because exactly, you're going to learn to pray in ways that they get punished ASAP and their demons get killed, They leave the body and stuff. Like that. Ways that just make our life much quicker. Because we don't even have to deal with you now. We don't have to deal with you. We can just pray against you in a certain way. You might just turn around and break your leg. Yay! Right? Oh my God. Just so you know, there's this funny thing. So yeah, as I was saying, right, all these places that you're in transportation, all these places where you're traveling, you have to remember that's the sign of the end of the world too. Anything you could use to travel, demons are going to try to do perversion, and they're going to try to, right, isolate you and steal from you, and also try to accuse you. So just be careful. If your gut says, no to this employee, then don't take the service from them. What else? Be careful when you drive. One of the things these demons do when they possess people is everyone is always honking at each other. When they park somewhere, extreme door slams. Boom, boom, boom. They usually do double of that thing. When you close your car, you're done. You lock your car. Beep, beep. I forgot what it was called. That thing you do with your keys, they do that 2 times each time. I don't want to tell you guys because I don't want you to become sensitive. You might start to become hyper aware of it because it happens a lot. But they'll do that every time, 2 times, just to sensitize to many people in society, the things I've been sensitized to. Because, right, these human beings are everywhere. They're like the crazy ones in COVID. They're going to sensitize all of you to it. And you might all start to get sick. Just know they're crazy and just forget about it. But yeah, you're going to see vehicles driving towards you, swerving towards you, driving straight towards you. And then exactly, they're going to accuse you. They're going to act like nothing happened. You're going to see cops running and looking for someone. Maybe someone told them about your situation, but they're going to be distracted. I remember a cop got distracted one time. He went in a different direction. I know he was probably looking for the human who drove towards me because they just did these lights They did this sort of monitoring camera to the location. I don't know who they were looking for, but I remember a demon brought him there. Maybe he wanted to accuse me, you know. But for your knowledge, it was to intimidate me, um, right? As if I'm the criminal, and a car drove towards me. It doesn't matter. Mainly, it's the crosswalks that are small. Usually the ones to your, actually, it's both of them. But usually they do the ones to my left. So yeah, the way we have sidewalks, this country is horrible. Obviously, a lot of these countries, they torment the people who walk by giving right too much power to vehicles in an immoral way, and that's how they cause danger every day. There's nowhere for you to just walk and get to your destination. You have to always cross with traffic. Why should you mix with them? They're vehicles. There should just be a way for you to go straight ahead to wherever you're trying to go, you know. And then go left and right in a way that maybe, I don't know, we just have to find another way. But that's something God inspired me to think of. You get me? Almost anything I see demons do, just so you know, is God telling me, you need to fix this. This is something you're going to fix one day. Almost all of them. Almost everything in society. That's why I said I came to help you in ways that are too broad and not specific. Maybe he's just showing it to me. Maybe some things I won't do it. Maybe someone else will. Or he'll just do it some other unique way and not through me. Because even if I do it, it's right. He's doing it through me. It's still God helping you. Anyways, what was I going to talk about? What else? Right, a lot of motorists drive by me sometimes really fast. Not motorists, sorry, bicyclists or cyclists, I guess. A huge group of them. You're gonna see that because they don't necessarily observe you. They get me. They don't treat you like a person who's standing there. They might try to hit you. In 2020, right when I was traveling, I went to Maryland, Ocean City. You know that boardwalk, and these human beings on a bicycle would just drive right towards me, and then they would swerve a little bit and then smirk, ha ha ha, and then start laughing and turn their neck. And okay, you might just be like, whatever, right? They do that again and again and again, and they have the exact same face, and it looks like a demon face. It looks like you give me some sort of character. You give me like a weird monster looking face. The human changes. So you're gonna start seeing human beings, right? Whatever they use transportation for. Oh my God, I forgot what it was called. You know, I don't want to Google it. I'll just describe it to you guys. Just so you know, I know the names of these things. I just forget due to the witchcraft. This equipment that humans are using now, they put their feet on it, right? And they're standing, and they're able to like transport themselves like a bicycle, you know? I forgot what it was called. Anything that human beings are using to travel, right? They're going to use that to drive towards you and not get out of your way. These ones are entering the sidewalk. So you see what demons are doing? It's like they're trying to push you off the earth or something. It's like they're saying, go die. Because when you go to workplace, there's harassment, there's layoffs, there's problems. When you go home, there's harassment, there's evictions, there's abuse, there's crime. When you go to the street, there's mobs, there's crimes, there's too much homeless who are the bad type, and mentally ill who are the bad type, and too much dirty streets and bad things. They're gonna make everything dirty, just so you know. Oh yeah, and the other thing is, the roads will have cracks. That's the other thing they do, just in where I am, because God is saying it's gonna happen everywhere else. You know, they're trying to create accidents for trains, the dangerous ones that transport a lot of heavy things usually, right? And not just the trains for transportation, but also the vehicles, the bicycles, the humans who just walk. So you're going to see a lot of cracks in the roads that don't make sense. It's just too broken, you know? And exactly, no one's going to fix it. That's the other thing. Because you might be like, who cares? No one's going to fix it. You're going to see a lot of dead animals in the road, birds, large animals. They're just going to kill animals right in front of you. What else? Right? Like geese and blackbirds, they're gonna kill them a lot in front of you. And no one's gonna help them. No one's gonna give them a burial, and take them out of the environment, just so you know. They're going to intentionally make human beings who have these jobs, including the employees who work in the environment that they were killed in, not call anybody, not do anything. The other thing you'll see is just animals roaming around all the time. I already talked about that one. And animal, you're gonna see it to some degree. Animal control vehicles, but they're never gonna stop the animal. It's just weird stuff. It's like every profession, every sort of job in these civilized countries, whatever that human was supposed to do is not gonna happen. They're just not gonna do it. They're gonna neglect their responsibility. So there's gonna be chaos in every area of life, and not some. Right? Not just stuff about poverty, just dysfunction. So yeah, these demons are following you everywhere. It's like the workplace, the places you live, the streets, everywhere there's problems, right? Chaos, crime, evil, weird stuff, sabotage, accusations. Okay. And then they think, well, okay, when you're traveling, we're going to harass you in vehicles. We're going to harass you in airlines. We're going to harass you if you get in a helicopter. We're going to harass you if you get in a train. We're going to harass you if you, right, are moving and you're moving your own property in a truck. They're going to cause problems for you during the storage process, like for me. They're going to, right? They're gonna maybe bring pests to it, and it's gonna be stolen. It's gonna have to be discarded. I didn't have that necessarily. Um, Everyone's just gonna harass you. So the places you get a service, like all these places, is gonna become a problem. Okay, then what's left? Probably you're either walking now, you're taking buses, or you're on the sidewalk, right? They're gonna harass you in the buses. Mobs of crazy, criminal, weird, extremely mentally ill, some not, human beings, sometimes very homeless. The type of homeless that made them homeless because they're bad. You get me, not because they're poor or got laid off. And then they won't leave. They'll just make that place their home. It won't be a place just for transportation. It'll be like their sort of sheltering place to just intimidate people, make noise, create crime, make the place dirty, smoke, like that. Those humans, what they already do in those places, but it's just a few of them, right? But now it's going to be their place. So you don't know how to get to your job anymore. And you're going to see in the road constant ambulance, constant fire. Start to question yourself. How can there be that much fire in a day? And again, usually they're just turning that, they're just pulling the fire. See, I forgot the word again. I forgot what it's called. They're pulling the fire alarm thing. You know what I mean? In every sort of building. Because these types of narcissistic humans, which usually their apartments, they do that. It always happens. When that evil family, I was a kid living with them, that would always happen. Someone would always do something, pull the alarm, and everyone in the apartment, some would be like, I'm not going. I know it's fake. And the others would go. And I remember some of the males in that family, they were like the weakest thing I've seen. They're an adult, but they would be so scared like some lion is about to eat them. Oh my God, let's go outside. Let's go. Let's go. Oh my God. Even if there was a fire, that's not how a human reacts. So these humans are very cowardly, okay? They're very weak, but then they're going to go out and do all this crime because exactly, you and I are not reactive people. We're not weak people. We're not going to. So they know they're not scared. They know no one's going to take things into their own hands. So that sort of boldness to be so crazy when they're weak as hell comes from that. Exactly. Usually they're fighting each other, so that's why they're not scared. But that was because it was demonic. He was scared of something. He was scared of what the demons did because he was heavily possessed. But you're going to see your apartments, wherever you live, the electricity always being cut off. If it's like a library or Barnes and Nobles, like I usually would write, right? The computers would always have a crash, a problem. It might just be the ones you use sometimes if demons want to target you a little bit. There's going to be way too much homeless and mentally ill coming to these places instead of wherever they used to be before. So they're sending them to it. They're not looking for help. They're not looking for shelter. They just want to come here to be demonic. If you thought they were just physical bodies, then yeah, it doesn't make sense because they don't do anything. You might be like, well, how are they harassing this place? They're demons, not people. So when they come there, they're doing witchcraft to people. Some of them are actually witches. God taught me. Some of these homeless. You get me, like extremely, extremely witches. So and sorcerers for the males. So you get me? That's why they're coming to these places. They might curse someone to lose their job, maybe. They might curse the library to have some malfunction like that, or that restaurant or whatever. Blackouts, basically. You guys remember how there was that sort of huge blackout, right? Not blackout, sorry. What was it? Let me Google it. Right? The IT outage, right? They call it CrowdStrike. That, right? Before it actually happened this year, I was dealing with that for the past 2 years. Just in my location, demons constantly doing witchcraft and other things, and they can probably possess objects like the building, because that's how they cause wall cracks. So you're gonna start to see wherever building you're in, constant wall cracks, and there's nobody there. Um, Places like hotels or places where there's a rental, where people are above you in a building, they're gonna constantly walk back and forth and make extreme noise. And even in times where you would expect them to be sleeping, whoever's coughing right now is trying to harass me, just so you know. You would expect them to be sleeping at least at some part of the day or night. They're never going to sleep. They're just going to take turns. A lot of weird people are going to start to move in, and this is their job. And you would agree, extremely mentally ill people don't have that quality of sleeping. Anyway, when God put me in jail, He showed that to me. They never sleep. It's weird. Where do they get the energy? They're so demonic. And some of them like to sleep during the day. So, and that's another reason why then at night, right? It's not just because they don't have shelter. That's another reason why at night, instead of maybe if they found a small place to sleep, they won't. They'll just roam around. They'll just roam around. They won't do what a human is supposed to do because they're heavily possessed. It's really a demon using their body the whole time. Every time they walk, they're doing witchcraft and things to the environment using their body. So that's why it matters to them to use them. But then they could be doing crime. They could be loitering. They could be, not loitering, sorry. They could be littering, right? So yeah, all these blackouts of, right, the electricity, the computers, everything. Um, Basically an outage. That's gonna, right? That's something that I dealt with every time in these libraries and places I go to. Every time I would pray against the demons heavily, just so you know. And two, anytime something good happened for me. So, right, they couldn't sabotage an interview or something. Instantly, the library, boom. They just, everybody please leave. So that's demonic. So because it's demonic, it's going to increase for all of you. God showed that to me before the crowd strike happened. I wish I talked about it. That's why I said, if I don't hurry up and share things with you, it doesn't seem like I know something. It doesn't seem like I saw it. It doesn't seem like I can warn you of it. And then some of the right signs at the end of the world, I'll tell you, is going to be not encryption, sorry, really supernatural stuff. I'll give an example of one way in the future. So Islam says that inanimate objects will start to talk to people, or animals and sort of pests, who knows? I don't remember it. I think it said just animals, though, will start to talk to people, right? I said that as one of the signs of the end of the world from Islam's perspective. I believe that's true, but not necessarily literally. It could just be metaphorically. It may not be literally. One thing I know, right, when demons follow me, especially when I was younger, is anytime I'm walking, because they harass me a lot when I walk. Vehicles are always having like narrations versus thoughts. It's like there's a narration. It doesn't stop. It doesn't stop telling you what they think and feel. So it's like, you get me? They're talking, therefore, and that's an object. But if I see a human, I don't necessarily get narrations about what they're thinking and feeling. I just know their intention. And there's this sort of anxiety that is trying to build in me that they're going to walk by me, they're going to harass me, they're going to talk like that. That's kind of common sense because they harass you. The demon could just tell you they may do it again. But vehicles, things that move, right, like the objects that are moving, the humans are inside of, they actually have feelings and thoughts coming out of them. And it correlates with then what the human does. So you can't be like, that's in your head. No, it actually does what the human will do. So I'm just observing. It makes it seem like this vehicle feels angry or feels this or feels that. And they just commit a crime all of a sudden. You get me? They're driving normally, though. I don't mean they're driving quickly. They stop, right? Like when you stop at a red light and there's a feeling coming out of the vehicle when it stops that, hey, I'm going to stop. It's like you're seeing their intention of the human on the vehicle. So you guys, God might do something to your mind where he lets you see that supernatural stuff I see, that sort of spiritual stuff. I think that's what it means. The inanimate object speaking, one is definitely vehicles. Buildings too, maybe to some degree. What else? Yeah, constant noise harassment in your environments. You saw there was lawn mowing coming out. See, God does that. He makes sure that something happens in my audio that you guys can understand at least when I give an example of it. There's lawn mowing right now outside this library. There's just everywhere you go, you're going to see this behavior. People just constantly doing lawn mowing. It's just to harass your mind with noise, but it's also demons putting witchcraft on the country, all the neighborhoods, right? They're using these evil humans to put witchcraft and other powers on the environment. So you're going to notice they lawn mow that place. You go outside, it looks exactly the same. They didn't do nothing. So you're going to start to see people doing pest control, cleaning, lawn mowing, everywhere. But then it's the same. Construction everywhere. Everywhere you go, there's going to be construction. But nothing ever happens. They just did a little tiny change to that park or that little place. They don't do anything because it's demonic. It's harassment to the environment. They're pushing people off of it. When they come there and do these normal behaviors, they're using those humans, the equipment, right? The way they're using these objects to mow that place, that grass, or that environment. They're putting witchcraft on your city that way. You get me? So it's just their way of coming to our world, possessing these bad people, using their jobs to then spread witchcraft and other things in the city. And that's then how chaos will spread. And other things only God knows. But two, noise harassment. You know, how can you lawn a mow? How can you, that word is annoying. How can you, do lawn mowing all the time? There's going to be too many large, heavy trucks always passing by you. They're going to intentionally choose maybe your neighborhood instead of a place that would fit where they're going to do construction. There's going to be constant vehicles doing the vroom, to their car. There are going to be a lot of vehicles doing ramping up of noises, right? Ramping up the vehicle or the engine. And then you're going to start to see cops doing it. So they like to chase. I've seen them chase those vehicles, but then they do it the next minute. What? So even cops will start to do that. And just so you know, that's increasing pollution, right, in the environment. So they're just trying to cause us spiritual attacks and physical attacks, but also psychological attacks like too much noise, dirty environments. Everything's dirty. People leaving their clothes outside, their backpacks outside, their shoes outside. Instead of throwing it in the trash. Oh, the other thing you're going to see is trashes. Like the city, the trash cans, right? Whether they're metal or something else. You're going to start to see that person coughing very heavily right now. It's trying to make me forget. I literally forgot what I was going to tell you. You cannot say that's not a correlated. They coughed really loud, so I could forget. That's a witchcraft. So let's just use that. You're going to hear a lot of people coughing, sneezing, clearing their throat, and doing all these things that are connected to gang stalking. You're going to see it as a society more, meaning intentional stuff. It's just intentional. It's fake as hell. Because just like that human was possessed to cough so loud, until I became aware of it, because I can ignore it the first time. It's to put witchcraft on you. So it can be something that's just to make you forget what you're saying or something else. Which then means they're going to do that a lot to you when you're driving, maybe when you get to important meetings or situations. So that then the sabotage, right? Didn't I say everything is about causing global poverty? So sabotage to anything economic, right? They're going to use that to then sabotage you, right? The interviewer could say a cough maybe. You might forget what you're going to say like that. They're just going to put witchcraft on all of you using these behaviors that are not bad. So that exactly no one knows what's wrong with us, why we're struggling. So you're going to see, right, the trash. You're going to see people, usually the homeless or the bad ones, right? They're going to put liquid on it. They're going to literally make it filled with water. And now that trash can is disturbing. You get me? Because it's trash. Um, you put water on it, it just ruins the solid part of the trash can, right? You're just supposed to put solid in it. So they're gonna put liquid in it just to disturb our ability to have a clean society. And then two, exactly, you would think then who cares? The employees will clean it. They won't. I've seen one like that in the city for like months. Um, you're gonna see a lot of fake events, like people constantly coming together for these large events. Very nasty, foul language, like the ones like hip hop. They're gonna be more the demonic ones this time. Like some songs are actually demonic versus just nasty, Like what they say is like satanic. You're gonna see that a lot, usually by African Americans, obviously, because they have this, sadly, this problem. Um, Not the satanic, I mean like the hip hop, right? So, and other people have foul language of other ways they sing, but obviously this ethnicity has that problem more, with foul language being the main thing for them, and other things only they do as a group. So you're gonna see, just like demons would always harass my environment, a place I need to go, a place I need to use. They're gonna just bring all these people who don't need it, who don't genuinely need it. They just want to mop it. So either they bring, right, these evil human beings who are homeless and the mentally ill ones, who are obviously the bad ones, right? And then they're gonna bring, and that's to push people away who are normal like me. You get me? So they don't want to come to that library. They don't want to come to that Barnes and Noble. They don't want to come to that mall. They just don't want people to come there anymore. And that's why then people are telling you lately they stay home, right? There you go. They're pushing you away by making these bad humans who normally would not be here. I don't know where they used to be before. They just taking over these places as society. They're not trying to use it to be productive. They're using it to sort of replace you and I. So you and I don't use it that this place would normally be used by. And then they're going to exactly do what you think they would do if their goal is criminal, right? And evil and demonic that you cannot see as much. Because it's spiritual, right? The bathrooms, they're going to make it dirty. They're going to mop it. They're going to mop all the tissues. You're going to see tissues just rolling in the floor. You're going to see people, they have a tissue in their own bathroom stall, but they're going to take one from the other stall and just put it there. And now this person in the middle stall doesn't have it. And then there you go. They're going to use that to do perversion. See, demons just want to find a way to do perversion. So this is an act of perversion, right? Doing this indecency in bathrooms, but then they want to use that to do another one, which is, excuse me, can you help me get a tissue? You're not supposed to do that when you're in a bathroom. So don't ever do that, you weirdos out there. Don't talk to people in bathrooms, right? As Muslims, we don't talk to each other in a bathroom. That's evil. That's a sin. And that's where demons usually inhabit. They stay there a lot. That's their place because it's dirty. They're in dirty places. So that's why everything they do is going to be about perversion, indecency, dirty, nasty, foul language. Exactly. So they just want to make our society like that. So then it's comfortable for them to be here even more as demons. And humans who are like that they're possessing would then, there you go, be attracted to it, come outside like a pest. That's food, And there you go, people who are decent, the opposite of demons, they're going to want to get away from society. So then it's to push you away the same way they pushed me away. They want you and I to just go to the woods or something. So yeah, then they want to say to you, excuse me, can I use a tissue? So yeah, that's a sin, obviously. Don't talk to people in bathrooms. If for the sake of argument, you're supposed to first check if there's a tissue in there before you use it. What the hell's wrong with you? Common sense. But right, for the sake of argument, you wait until people leave. And then you try to, sometimes you can just put your hand under the bathroom stall when there's nobody in there. The tissue is usually on their side, right? The tissue in their stall is usually parallel to you where your toilet is. So you can actually just reach to it, or you can just go grab it. But always carry these things. As Muslims, I already told you what the solution is, that the true religion of God Almighty in the past have taught humans, but they lost it. Which is, you're supposed to clean yourself when you go to bathrooms with water, not tissue. Tissue is extra. If you want to do it, that's your choice. But the way God created it is water. Okay, so you don't need tissues. And this is something humans produced recently in history. So why would that be the way humans always clean themselves? You have to realize there has to be something else in the past. It can't be rocks or something else. That's disgusting. So water, the true right, thing that God has created to clean anything, right? We use water for anything, including when you shower, you're using water. Why are you preventing yourself from using it in the bathroom? So if you're a non-Muslim, please learn to do this. Ask Muslims maybe, right, for tips, whatever. They'll help you. They're obviously the same gender, right? And don't use indecent words and foul language with them. Just be like, you guys don't use tissue like that. Or you can, again, you don't even have to do that. Islam teaches you things, obviously, without the Muslim, right? Knowledge is written down. So just Google it, YouTube it. People will just teach you, like a lecture, like the way I'm explaining. They'll just teach you how Muslims clean themselves with water. You get me? You don't want to meet a really evil Muslim who uses words that are too specific, right? Like describing the body and the private parts. You don't want that. You just want more like a educational way, right? Just someone telling you the religious aspect and why they like that. You can just Google it. So God is gonna, right? Demons are allowed to attack you in a way where then they're gonna attack you in a way they actually push you to God. Because you're all gonna start to be like, well, tissues don't work. That people are mopping it. There has to be another like that, and God is gonna push you to water as non-Muslims. You guys are gonna be so sickened by the perversions that are coming in just day-to-day basic society that you're gonna say, wait a minute, hell no. Is this from God then? The perversions in scripture. We were just scared to say that maybe. And now you're going to be confident to believe what I tell you, that these are corruptions. And then when the truth comes, right, whether Jesus comes or someone before him like Mahdi, you're going to easily be like, we're ready. We're ready. Or before, maybe you would have had the evil push you to more evil, right? Because your societies are under attack in a way that you don't have a choice but to agree. Right, all this perversion, all this indecency, it has to be connected to the perversions in scripture they like to call normal stuff. God is using that to help you. You get me? Even though he's just allowing demons to do evil, has nothing to do with him. He's still, right, he turns things for good, doesn't he? He uses it for good. A demon could attack you, but God could use it to then uplift you like that. It doesn't mean they're working together. He's going to use it to help you then and now push you to see, right, in your mind, have the conviction, because you're scared, right? You might be a good person who don't like it, but you might be scared to believe what I'm saying. He'll just push you to have the conviction this stuff is also from these demons, and these types of bad humans were the ones they possessed in human history, to put this into his religion. You get me? Because you don't have to necessarily be like, oh, this stuff is bad, therefore it's from demons. But what if you don't believe in demons? What if the fact that they're invisible bothers you? What if that makes it hard for you to believe that these books of God are corrupted, that perversion and sexism and religion is not from him? You're going to believe it more because you're going to see demons in your society. You're going to see them manifest, which is these crazy people who are causing global chaos. That's demons. So the more you see them, the more you observe them, just like I did, the more you see all they do is perverted things. Even the animals will do perverted things, nasty things. Make our society dirty. Everything is about dirty and nasty and perversion and sexism. Whoa. And accusation, right? Accusation. You're going to be like, well, the accusation part about God and prophets, accusing them of being the authors of these Quran and Bible and all the evil in these religions, has to be from humans like this. And these humans we know are possessed. Okay, that means there's demons who did this to God, his religion. Oh, wait a minute. They keep doing indecent, filthy, nasty, perverted things. And religion, the things they say is normal, is also dirty, nasty, indecent, weird things. But they just call it good. We don't have to let that affect us anymore and think God is weird. Wait a minute. It's connected to these humans, what they do. So wait a minute. These humans are possessed by demons. We can see it. That's not a normal person that will. Oh my God. The ones in religion telling us to just believe this stuff are also demons. And they're lying to us. And the ones who wrote this in the books of God, their sexism, the perversion, all this stuff, is also from demons. That's how God guided me, by making demons manifest and come in this life and possess humans, animals, and pests and persecute me. I get to see who they are, right? And the type of humans they need to use like them. Now I know any similar conduct done by those humans in religious environments like mosques and churches, I know it's those same demons again. And whatever they say is from them and not my God. You're all going to see the same thing, God willing.